Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation is from a-sabad-a-day, a composition of the fifth Nanak, Guru Arjan. The recitation. a-sabad-a-day, Char Baran Chauha ke mardan, Khat darsan kar talire, Sundar sugar saroop siyane, Panchon hi moh chalire. Jin mil mare panch surbir, Aisa kaun balire. Jin panch mar bidar gudare, So pura eh kalire rahau. Vadi kaum vas bhage nahi, Mahukam fauj hatali re. Kaho nanak tin jan nirdaliya, Sad sangat ka chali re. Vadi kaum vas bhage nahi, Mahukam fauj hatali re. Kaho nanak tin jan nirdaliya, Sad sangat ka chali re. Another short passage, and yet profound in its meaning and message. In the Rahau, the question is raised, who is such a hero who can sacrifice the self, the sense of ego? Aso kaun balire. Bali has a dual connotation. It means powerful and also means to sacrifice. And I've chosen to take the latter meaning here because the brave and the gallant is already indicated in the line as Surbir. Jin mil mare panch Surbir, aso kaun balire. Esteemed, heroic, and gallant are they who sacrifice their ego. Who is such a hero who can sacrifice the self? That's the question. And the answer is, Jin panch mar bidar gudare, so pura eh kalire. They who have surrendered their ego to the self, Jin panch mar bidar gudare, have achieved perfection in this age of Kali, meaning in the current time. So the essential idea here is to transmute the ego, to transform it. That's the same as killing it. Because the Guru says what happens is, regardless of the fact that we may be people of prominence, leaders, we may belong to any caste, it doesn't matter. Char Baran Chauha ke mardan. We may be possessed of good looks, we may be well-groomed and intelligent, sundar, sugad, saroop siyane. We may be possessed of great knowledge, know the 6 systems of Hindu philosophy on the palm of our hands. Khat darsan kar talire. In other words, we may have all of these qualities, but panchahi moho chalire. Even these persons of prominence are deceived by the ego. Panchahi moho chalire. So the point being made here is that your external looks, your learning, scriptural learning, knowledge, doesn't really matter. It's all in the ego. You've missed the boat if you haven't killed the ego, transformed the ego. So the very frame through which you're seeing the world, namely your conditioning, your ego, is what has to be deconstructed. Because all of your acquisition of knowledge is through the ego. And the Guru is saying you have to change that very lens, that very frame through which you're looking at the world. And that is very challenging. And your looks, being well groomed, being of noble visage, belonging to a high caste, all of that is irrelevant to the message of Gurmat. Gurmat seeks and asks you to be a surbir, a hero, a gallant one, who can sacrifice, surrender. When you say sacrifice, think surrender, submit to the wisdom. And the Guru cautions us that the ego doesn't come alone. It comes accompanied by a nation, a group of strong, determined army. The passions, Vadi kaum vas bhage nahi, mohkam phoj hathalli re. Mohkam, firm, strong, army, phoj. So it's the ego. To transform the ego means to take on an army, big passions. And as we know, the big passions are Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. All of this comes with the ego. So you're taking on an army, you're taking on a nation, so to speak. The Guru says, Vadi kaum vas bhage nahi, mohkam phoj hathalli hai. Kaho Nanak tin jin nirdaliya sad sangat kai challi re. So how do you take these on? Through Sadh Sangat, the company of the Guru, the company of evolved individuals on this path. That will give you the necessary strength. Nirdaliya is to fully grind, meaning to destroy the passions. Destroying the passions, again, one ought to be careful, is not to eliminate them, but to transform them into capacities, qualities, guna, because that is your raw energy. And that is what has to be transmuted. And you have to take a sense that it is not the ego that is the creator, but there is a creative force working through it. So get out of the way. Transmute these passions into strengths and capacities and qualities. Be a hero in the real sense. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.